Hey everyone, Brandon here. I wanted to reach out to you about refinancing and refinancing in a couple different ways. So a lot of you may have low interest rates at 3.25%, 3%, 2.75, even 2.5 or below. So you're very unlikely to want to refinance that first mortgage, which is totally fine. I totally get it, and this may not be for you at all. However, there's many people that do have those rates, but also because of the tough last couple of years, maybe job losses, maybe just doing things at home, fixing up the home, taking some additional money out in credit cards, and watching rates go up. And then there's a lot of people that got behind. Are getting behind, and not necessarily getting behind in payments, but just getting a little bit too much and can't keep up with the rising cost of inflation. So with those, we have two different sets right now. We have the people that have recently purchased with rates in the sevens and the eights, and then we have people that purchased a few years ago or refinanced a few years ago with lower priced loans, but they also have additional debt. So let's first break down the lower debt ones, or lower interest rate ones with higher debt, or things that they want to do. Maybe they want to replace their kitchen or upgrade their kitchen and bathroom, or maybe they got to pay off some credit card debts or some other things that they've done in the past. We call those like, pulling equity out of your home. So there's more equity in homes today than there's ever been, for people that have purchased in the last 5 years and beyond. And accessing that equity is really, really beneficial for some people and helping them financially in the future. So if you are one of the people that have higher credit cards, higher debts on credit cards because life comes at us fast. In the last couple of years, it came out really fast. We can look at what is called a blended rate cash out refinance. What does that mean? Yes, you have a low rate here, but with all of your other debts, potentially you have rates that that 3% mortgage rate is now effectively like a 7 or 8% overall monthly debt that you have and interest that you're paying because you're paying these higher debts and you're not really getting ahead. Well, by accessing that home equity with like a cash out refinance and paying off all that debt, it's called the blended rate. And if we can get those rates into like a lower sixes or even some cases fives, that now you're not going much more here, but you are setting yourself up and lowering your monthly payments. There's also ways to show you, because we've been making these payments. Let's just say your current monthly debt obligations are $3,500, but by doing a refinance, cash out, your new payments are about $2,800. We have that $700 extra in savings. Well, what if we could take 500 of that and then add that back to the principal, effectively dropping off years of your payment, and so forth. That's one way to really look at an effective cash out refinance in that situation. Others are simply like, hey, we're looking to upgrade our bathroom and kitchen, and those costs are, well, kitchen could be $50,000 in some cases, and you don't want to necessarily put that on credit or pay the cash out of pocket if you don't have it. Well, we can access the home equity and do it that way as well. So I'd love to speak with you on that. Now, for the people that are in the 7+% range, or in the high sixes, where are we at today? Well, the Fed came out over a week ago and said they were going to reduce 50 basis points. With that being said, they did that. Now, it was already pretty much baked into the market. They were already hedging the bets. The bond markets were adjusted quarterly for the last 2 or 3 weeks because it was being, they believed they were going to get into that for the first place, right? So we were seeing the rates come down, and we were seeing them come down really fast. And in some cases, we're locking people like 5.625, 5.875. So that was great. They are a little bit higher today because what happened was when they start these rate cutting cycles, the bond markets also change if people start running to a little bit more of safety, so to speak. So they've kind of ticked back up. And why I'm talking about how important this is because we saw this drastic pull down. Now we're seeing rates come back up a little bit. And looking at the futures here, if we don't see this, before that, we were looking at, hey, there's going to be a recession on the table. Now they're saying now it's going to be a soft landing. We don't know what's going to happen. specifically the last 24 months, no one knew, from transitory inflation to, oh, we got to move the rates higher, to how many cycles we had to move it higher, and reaching into the eights. Last year they were predicting we would be, at this time last year, they were predicting to be where rates are today. Unfortunately, that didn't happen. It kept going higher before it started to fully get back in line. So here we are today. So if you're in that where you're in the upper sixes and sevens, we want to talk about finding a strike rate for you. What does it make sense, right? Is it a 3/4 of a point based on your loan amount? Is it a half a point if you're $1 million, loan amount, jumbo loan? Is it a point? What is that strike rate? Also, what is the cost of waiting? If we take, a typical mortgage that is at 7.25 on a 300,000 loan amount, your principal and interest payment is $2,048. If we look at 6.25, that payment is now 1847, approximately saving $199, right? Now, if you wait, we got to wait because we think rates are going to go down further. We very well could get that. It is predicted to get that way. However, again, going back to what we just looked at, we do not know what rates are. And if anybody says they do, they don't know. They don't hold the crystal ball, right? Long story short, there is a cost of waiting. So the longer you wait at the 7.25 rate, the less likely you're going to recoup your fees by waiting too long just to stay in those ranges. So what I'm doing with a lot of my past clients right now is talking to them about what that strike rate means, showing a couple different examples. One at 5.75, one at 6, one at 6.25, and seeing where that fits in. What are those costs to refinance going to be? And then determining which one is the best factor. And if we're not there yet, we can at least sit on it. And once they go back and down, it's like the stock market, they go up, they trickle back down, they go back up. We see these trends all the time. Currently, we're in a floating environment, right? They're talking about the 10-year post-rate Fed rate cut cycles. They're saying we might get another 1/4 point this year. Some people are saying they shouldn't do anything because it's going to increase inflation. Very well could happen, right? However, if we look at we should have some friendly reports coming up on CPI, which is definitely talks about inflation, right? And if we can keep that inflation in line with what they want, the 2% trajectory, they're probably not likely to keep cutting rates. So by waiting to get that much lower rate, it could cost you more and more money. However, it's all about having the conversation first. Let's see where you're at. Let's look at your current loan. Let's look at what those savings could be at different rate costs and find which one is that's the most valuable to you and for your needs going forward. I'm here to help you out. I love doing this. In the last 2 weeks alone, I've saved my clients over $2 million in interest over their course of their loans. So that's very exciting. I want to be able to help you do the same thing. So please reach out. I'll be reaching out to you individually as well. And let's talk about what's your strike rate.